Okay, so you're going to start by placing your tape down, and I'm going to do a circle and I'm going to do an organic shape. Notice I'm overlapping them just a little bit, like that. And so the circle is going to be here. I'm going to draw using this tape to make my circle. And over here, I'm just going to maybe, let's say I want to do some kind of zigzaggy and curvy-like shape. So basically you're just going to use your X-Acto knife and basically you're going to cut. I'll zoom in a little bit. And the key here, obviously, I think, is that you don't want it. You want to cut through the tape, but not through the canvas. So make sure your blade is sharp. Come and see me if it's not, and I can sharpen it. And as before, when we were doing T-shirts, when you're doing a circle, it's a good idea to kind of do small areas at a time and keep kind of moving the painting around. So I'm cutting just a little bit, and I can feel. It's lagging. Sorry about that. I'm going to keep recording. Hopefully it'll work. And I'm going to keep going, and until hopefully I got all the way around. Try not cut too hard, because then you'll go through the canvas and then you're in trouble. And then basically you're just going to peel it out. And I use the edge of the nail there, the knife, to peel off all these pieces. And then I've got, and a lot of people, by the way, I'm on Instagram a lot, and a lot of people are using the tape method like this and exposing areas they want to paint. It's very, very cool. And here you can actually do it freehand. I drew this, but I could have just done it freehand. I didn't even need to draw it on. I can just kind of freehand cut. Again, you don't want to cut through the canvas. Canvas is quite a bit thicker than the tape, so as long as you don't put, crazy amounts of pressure, it should work out. And now you want to be thinking about contrast, and I was talking about blending. Blending is a neat idea. Blending can be really effective. So I'm going to blend. So if I'm going to blend, let's say from white, can somebody bring me up some red, please? I'm going to blend yellow. So now I'm pulling some yellow down. And I just got a little bit of red. So part of the key with blending is to keep. So now I've got that line there. I kind of just feather that line. My brush is a little bit wet. I'm going to actually dry my brush. It's a good idea when you're blending to kind of have some paper towel so you can dry. And right on that line there where I want the blend, it's almost mostly dry. I can just kind of draw one line there and that'll blend it nicely. And I'll do the same with the red. And so I'll do red on this side. And I'll wait till I get to that line. When I get to that line, I'm going to wipe my brush off. You might even want to clean it fully off depending on your colors. If it's too dark, and then here's where you can kind of, whoops, see, I probably should have washed it. But you can always go back if you mess it up, and then I'll put more yellow. I'll go back with the yellow to make the yellow part lighter and blend it. I kind of lost it. It's not the perfect blend, but that's okay. It's still a bit of a blend. And now, then I've got this other area here. I'm going to look for contrast. This area I'm just going to do flat one color. Now again, I'm going to remind you, especially when you're doing really detailed stuff like this that will take you some time, is that you want to either leave the tape and do a second coat at the end of the class or next class, or put a slightly thicker coat. If you kind of load up the paint on the brush, that's actually the correct term, it's like loading a gun, and kind of gently glide over without pressing hard, you can get a thin but kind of opaque coating there. Now, even though this is a bit thin here, I'm going to peel all this tape off just so we can see what it looks like, and it should be pretty cool. Because you're going to get a nice fine line over top. And it gives you this kind of added depth without too much effort, really. And you didn't have to do it by hand. If you had to do this with a brush freehand, you're not going to get these beautiful edges. Look at the edges of that circle. They're nearly perfect because I've taped down. So you can actually use the knife to kind of get at the heart, to get parts there. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. There we go. So that's pretty nice, and that's the second layer on top. Thank you. So actually, I'm expecting a lot more from you. This is really not really planned, and that yellow kind of fights with this yellow. This would look a lot better if this yellow wasn't there. But that's the kind of thing I want you to play around with. So basically, you're going to tape down large areas, cut through them. If you tape a large area and it's not done and not ready for you to paint, that's fine. Just leave it on your canvas, and you'll come back next time and paint.